Commercial satellite company Maxar has stopped transmitting images to Ukraine commissioned by the US government, making it difficult for Ukrainian drone operators who rely on satellite images to defend the country, Business Insider reports. The move was part of a broader Trump administration clampdown on US aid and intelligence support for Ukraine. One drone operator told Business Insider that it would make it much harder to detect and engage Russian forces. With GPS jamming rampant, the Ukrainian military relied on high-resolution imagery, including from Maxar. The company said the US government has suspended Ukrainian users' access to the Global Enhanced GEOINT Delivery program, the primary portal for sharing government-purchased satellite imagery with allies. Maxar's contract with the National Geospatial-Intelligence Agency has also been temporarily suspended pursuant to the administration's directive to support Ukraine. The restriction significantly impairs the Ukrainians' military ability to detect enemy forces behind the front lines and to carry out deep strikes against Russian supply facilities and ammunition depots. Dmytro Zluktenko, who works in the Ukrainian Unmanned Systems Force, noted that the US decision impedes awareness of Russian stockpiles and repair plants. The situation comes just after the US announced it would stop sharing intelligence with Ukraine, and President Donald Trump announced an indefinite pause in military aid. Like SpaceX's Starlink, which is also under contract to the US government, satellite imagery is critical to Ukraine's military planning. According to Zluktenko, Ukraine's military drone systems rely more on commercial imagery than on data provided directly by US intelligence agencies. He noted operators of deep strike drones will not get such precise targeting. Zluktenko explained that Maxar images were widely used to plan drone missions, identify targets for deep strikes, track Russian equipment storage locations, and assess the results of attacks. Since 75% of Ukrainian military units operating drones rely heavily on satellite imagery, their absence poses serious challenges. Beyond its military utility, Maxar's images documented the destruction and change that occurred during the war. Drones are playing an increasingly important role in Ukraine's fight against Russian invasion, especially given the uncertain future of Western aid. According to the New York Times, as of November 2023, 80% of Russian casualties on the front lines were caused by Ukrainian drones, so limiting the capabilities of drones, especially in the context of the suspension of American aid, will have a serious impact on the course of the war. It gives Russia the opportunity to increase its offensive forces while remaining less visible. The decline in reconnaissance capabilities is forcing Ukrainian forces to look for alternative methods. GPS jamming has forced drone operators to increasingly rely on satellite imagery for orientation, comparing the actual appearance of the terrain with maps and photographs. Ukraine is actively developing drones that can operate without GPS, using technology that compares captured images with preloaded maps. American company Vermeer recently integrated a similar system into drones used by the Ukrainian army. Zluktenko stressed that the Trump administration's decision makes Ukraine weaker and can be used against other US allies. In 2023, NGA awarded Maxar a 5-year, $192 million contract to provide US allies with high-quality satellite imagery. The suspension of intelligence transfers could immediately impact the effectiveness of Ukraine's air defenses, which rely heavily on early warning sensors. The longer the US intelligence curtailment continues, the more critical Ukraine's need for alternative sources of satellite imagery and intelligence will become. While it is possible to use high-altitude drones and satellites from other companies, the loss of Maxar is a significant gap that is difficult to fill, the publication concluded.
A Russian strike on a town in Ukraine's embattled Donetsk region killed at least 11 people, officials said Saturday, as a wave of heavy aerial attacks continued into the second night following a U.S. decision to stop sharing satellite images with Ukraine. According to Associated Press, 30 people were also reported injured in multiple strikes late Friday that damaged 8 apartment blocks in the town of Dobropilya, which is close to the front where Russian troops have been making steady advances. Ukraine's State Emergency Service said a Russian drone damaged a Ukrainian fire truck while rescuers fought to extinguish the burning buildings. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenski said at least 5 children were among the injured. The attack took place just 24 hours after Russia hit Ukrainian energy facilities with dozens of missiles and drones, hobbling its ability to deliver heat and light to its citizens and to power weapons factories vital to its defenses. The barrage came after the U.S. suspended military aid and intelligence to Ukraine to pressure it into accepting a peace deal being pushed by the Trump administration. Ukraine's Air Force reported Saturday that Russian troops launched 3 Iskander missiles and 145 drones over the country overnight. The bombardment contained a mix of attack and decoy drones intended to confuse air defenses. 1 missile and 79 drones were shot down, while 54 more drones were lost without causing damage, the Ukrainian Air Force said. Among the targeted areas was Ukraine's northeastern region of Kharkiv, where 3 people died after a Russian drone hit a civilian workshop, emergency services said. Meanwhile, Russian troops shot down 31 Ukrainian drones overnight, including 26 over the country's Krasnodar region, Russia's defense ministry said Saturday. Falling debris from one drone sparked a blaze at the Kyiv oil refinery in Russia's northern Leningrad region, local Gov. Alexander Drozdenko said in a statement.